For now, let's talk trade. South Africa has regained market access for the exportation of apples to Thailand. The market has been closed for about 16 years due to changes in requirements by the trading partner. SABC News reporter Mariska Botha is in Ceres and joins us now for an update. And I suppose part of the questions people are asking, Mariska, is what impact this is going to make on South Africa's trade relations.
Absolutely, 100% correct, yes. We are in Ceres, of course, and if you say Ceres, you talk apples, and the minister reminded me, also pears. And let's get straight into it to see if we can answer that question for you, Ayanda. Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, thank you so much for your time, sir. First of all, why couldn't we trade with Thailand for so long?
There were some phytosanitary concerns that had arisen as a result of a change in protocols from their side, and obviously there was some requests of information around trade balances and the like, and that's been ironed out now, and 16 years after no trade, we will now be sending our most delicious pears and apples across to Thailand, and obviously this is part of our initiatives to deepen and widen existing trade agreements, but also to start looking for new markets to diversify markets for South African goods.
What impact will this have?
It's got a huge impact. I mean, for every hectare of apple production, because it's so labour intensive, every 1.25 jobs are created for every hectare of apple production, very labour intensive. But also the knock-on ancillaries, the packing, the pack houses, not just at farm gate level, and of course huge foreign revenue that South Africa is able to bring in. So this is about jobs, and it's about growing the economy, and should be the focus of everything that we're doing over the next medium term, is creating jobs, growing the economy. And I see the agricultural sector as a huge participant in the jobs and growth agenda for South Africa.
Is there an idea at this stage of what this new trade agreement might be worth?
It's certainly worth a lot of money. I mean, I think we're starting to look at millions and millions and millions of dollars. But of course it'll grow, and obviously we're hoping initially to get over 500,000, 500,000 cartons out in the initial phase, and obviously that will grow. But as the demand for South African agricultural products grow, and as we start to make a determined effort to open up these new markets, the impact on South Africa from a jobs perspective is going to be absolutely massive.
Speaking about broadening the market, why is that so critical?
Well, I think you've seen why it's so critical. We've seen now the recent choppy waters that have arisen out of the American market. Now, the American market is very important for us. We did over $3 billion US dollars through AGOA in 2023. Large part of that is agricultural products as well. And obviously we need to now do everything we can to ensure we retain access to the US market. But it's also important for us to diversify our market so that if you end up with choppy waters in one market, it doesn't provide a shock to the sector. So the more we're able to open up different markets for South African goods rather than relying on people we've always relied on, I think the more resilient it's going to make the agricultural sector as well. And believe you me, South Africa's farmers and farm workers are amongst the best in the world. And having travelled all over the world as we start to open up these markets, there is a huge demand for the high quality agricultural goods, particularly our fruits and citrus and wines around the rest of the world. These are huge opportunities for us to really showcase South Africa to the global community.
And it's not just about exporting these wonderful products that we have. There's also talks about processing, because that's also where a lot of the money lies, not so?
Absolutely. And agro-processing and value add is going to be a very important part of the strategy, and certainly the Agriculture and Agro-Processing Master Plan of the Department of Agriculture focuses on how we can start to do value-add products, processing of fruits, canning of fruits, using different methods. Very popular when I was in Germany now, freeze-dried fresh fruit for packing and for lunch boxes and that sort of thing. There's a whole lot of new innovations, and I think what we need to be doing is exploring not only bulk export, which is very important, and people want to have a nice big red juicy apple to be able to hold, but also what can we do to add value, and also what can we do to grow the value chain so that we're adding even more jobs and opportunities into the sector.
Let me just lastly to touch on the American issue. Are you concerned at this stage for agriculture?
I'm deeply concerned at this stage. America is one of our largest markets, and I think that we need to be doing everything we can to mend the fences there as quickly as possible. The reality is the people who will suffer as a result of any particular tariffs or kicking us out of AGOA will be farmers and farm workers, manufacturers and factory workers. I think we've had 20 years of some bad decisions made and some poor policy choices at an international level. However, this is a new government. This is a government of national unity. It's not the government that made those decisions. We can fix those by putting in new reforms and new policies and approaches, but it's not going to help if we're punishing or getting punished the very people who we should be giving a hand up to be able to get their businesses going and to keep access to markets. So I think that the sooner we get a delegation to Washington, we sit around the table, we start to discuss some of the misconceptions that have arisen, but also start to deal with perhaps some of the substantive issues that our trading partners have with us. I think it's important. I think the President's already announced we're going to send envoys out now to capitals around the world to let them know what the GNU is about. Look at our medium-term development plan. Look at our plans to turn our back on the 20 wasted years and start to write a new story for the future of South Africa. And it's that story that I want to share with people around the world. And I want to make sure that agriculture jobs in South Africa, our farmers and farm workers, are not only protected, but also given opportunities like we're seeing today to grow and expand even further.
And then the good news is where we are today. What are we going to see here today?
Well, we're going to see some of the preparation of the fruit to be packed and go. It goes through a very extensive process. And what a lot of people don't realize is a huge amount of behind-the-scenes scientific work that goes on between the scientists and officials from international departments and our own departments. Signing of protocols, sending them so we all understand exactly what's required of us, and our customers can expect the highest quality and safety of those foods. And this is also part of the efforts by the department to make sure that biosecurity becomes everybody's responsibility. It's not just a farm level responsibility, it's for everybody in the value chain. The more and higher biosecurity you have, the more price we can fetch for our products there, and the more confidence that international markets have in our ability to be able to provide good, safe products to their consumers.
When is the first shipment going?
I think the first shipment's going out today, as far as I understand, but certainly we're going to see some of the preparation for it taking place today. And as I say, this is just the beginning. There's so many other markets out there just waiting for us to be tapped into. And if we grow the demand, we create more jobs here on this side, and that's what we have to focus on doing.
Thank you so very much. The Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, unpacking it for us there, speaking about your question there, the impact it will have. Jobs, jobs, jobs. And as you heard the Minister say, there's long-term plans in place here to grow the agricultural sector, because we know South Africa, certainly from the Western Cape, more than 50% of all agri-produce in the country comes from this province. So certainly it is a major, major economic driver, not just here in the Western Cape, but across the country, and a very important sector. And with that, we're going to leave it for now, and we're going to take a step inside this beautiful pack house here, where we're going to see where they're packing Joya apples, as far as I know. So with that, it's back to you in the studio.
All right, Mariska, Botha, live to us there from Ceres in the Western Cape for now. Thanks very much indeed.